Well, I mean, it's been. I think it's been a. I think it's been a week since this news came out. Or, but
Yeah,
this.
it was right after. I think it was like the day after the live stream that we
Yeah,
did
the
last
yeah
week. So
last
it was
week's
probably like
episode. Yeah, it
Wednesday.
was. Yeah. So yeah. So the state of New York just passed a bill allowing for abortion. Well beyond the 24 weeks. Kind of standard that was set in the past. And you like I don't know why to use the euphemism abortion is so so disingenuous, and but I'm not going to say the what it really is, because I don't know if I'll be able to contain my anger. But and the wording of this bill is so nebulous, because they didn't say you could abort the baby, you could abort the baby, in case, for the mother's life. They used the very, what was it, indefinite and nebulous term of health. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like the health.
The health of the mother, which again is very nebulous and ambiguous, and um, you know is not, it's yeah, it's undefined, because yeah, what does that really mean? Because it's like, oh, does, like, if the baby, if carrying this baby, gives you, gives the woman, back cramps or whatever, that that technically falls underneath, health. So can the mother abort the baby because of back pains? Or if she has, or at it, if she works at a job that she's standing up, and like carrying that extra weight of the baby causes her to have pain in her feet, this uh,
Yeah, it's specifically written very ambiguously, and yeah, the thing that what was it? Matt Walsh was talking. Well, a lot of people have been talking about this, but Matt Walsh, the way that he was describing it, I think, is at that point in the pregnancy, or whatever the left wants to call it, um, for you to abort the baby at that point, you still technically have to give birth, whether it be to a live or dead baby. So why is it necessary for it to be aborted at that point? What if? And even the thing is, if you don't want the child, there's uh there's so many people that want that child. Even if it's not their own. I mean, it'd be for infants. It's a line out the door that isn't
right, yeah, I
going to be
mean, because
satiated anytime soon.
infants are the easiest ones to set up for adoption. Because everyone wants to have a baby. Everyone wants to have a baby. So I mean, and it's like, why can't you put it up for adoption? And then I think kind of the counter to the whole adoption thing is like, oh well, the system is so messed up, and the kids will, how am I to know that the kids will be treated right or go to good homes? And well, what do you care? Because what do you care? Because your other option is killing the baby. So what do you care if if the baby if it doesn't go to a good family, or gets lost in the system or whatever? Like, because because you were killing it. So why do you all of a sudden care, like, what kind of life it has without you? And
Yeah,
I think given the option of abortion, I think the baby would be better without you.
Pretty much.
And I
The
know you guys are thinking, it's like, oh, how can you guys be so cruel? It's like, it's like we adoption is like the most compassionate option on the table.
right.
I don't know how someone doesn't see that. It's
It, the crazy thing is, and to me, what I found to be the most disturbing, which is where I mean, it's already, you know, bad. It's and to me, I think it's an evil practice. But the thing that to me, where it's like, true evil has really taken over, is the fact that based off of everything that they're saying, all the, let's for the sake of on their side of the argument, the left side of the argument, all this stuff. Oh, it's it's for the mother's health and to protect her life and all the the platitudes that they throw
all
out
the
there.
good, all the quote unquote good things that it's trying to accomplish.
Something like this should be a somber moment, right? Yeah, it's like it's not.
Yeah, I know what you're going. I know where you're going with this, but yeah, go on.
But the fact that, and it shouldn't be something. It's like, yeah, okay, we passed this bill. It's a protect these women and to give them more options. To for this very for something horrible that's happening to their body or something that was done to them. Blah 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 blah. Okay, but the fact that it was not only was it not somber, but it was like a raucous cheer throughout the assembly, celebrating this type of this bill passing, or that it's that to me is just the sign of true evil. When you boo the things that are good and you celebrate and cheer evil, things that are fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's some Sodom and Gomorrah shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that clip of once Governor Cuomo signed the bill, like the it's funny. It reminded me of Episode 3 of Star Wars. This that line's like, oh, this is how liberty dies with thunderous applause. But I mean,
Yeah,
this is but switch out liberty and just uh, what would it be? This is how humanity dies with thunderous applause. Because it's like you know it's not it's like a part of it's like a part of the soul died that day. You know, it's just like you know uh because what is it? There was a report saying that Catholics are demanding that the Pope excommunicate Governor Cuomo for this,
which he should.
which he should. And it's just like like I don't know. I don't even know if is Cuomo or does Cuomo identify himself as a Catholic?
Yes, yes, he does.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can only imagine like that. When he meets his maker, and an account of his life is given. This is gonna be on. This is gonna be a big thing.
Yeah,
And he has to stand before he has to stand behind before the most high, and he has to make an account of for his actions. And
I
I don't
mean,
know,
millions
like
of
I don't know
people.
how he's going to. I don't know what he's going to say, or like how he will be able to justify this.
Yeah, it's just and I don't know whether it's I don't want to like say like, oh, certain people are evil or whatever, but because some of the words that come out of his mouth, I don't know whether it's ignorance or like he knows exactly what the deal is, and he's just kind of and he's just doing it anyway because he doesn't care,
Hmm.
or if it's just he's doing evil out of sheer ignorance.
Right? Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Sometimes you don't know if it's malice or if it's ignorance.
And in some cases it's both.
Yeah. Sometimes it's both, and it's kind of, and it's funny because he he talks out of both sides of his out of it. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. Because on one hand, he claims that he'll denounce the president. Uh, he'll denounce the president for supposed immorality for attempting to build a border wall. But yet at the same time he'll praise Roe versus Wade, which is in my opinion gross federal overreach. So I mean, so yeah, Governor Cuomo is talking out of both sides of his mouth because on one hand he says that the federal government should not. Oh, I'm sorry. It was I think the federal government trying to step in and stop this bill. I don't remember. There's some he mentions he referenced something uh, about like federal overreach, but then like he applauds Roe versus Wade, which is a federal mandate, which is upheld by the Supreme Court, the federal government. So like, which
You're
is it?
right.
It's like should federal government stay out of state business, or should they get involved even more?
And that's where it's like I don't think these people understand how government works.
Right.
Because or even what they want. Because yeah, I'm all because let's say Roe versus Wade is taken out today, like it's gone.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean that abortion is going to stop. All it
Right.
does is that the states get to choose for themselves whether they allow it or not,
Right. It just
which
yeah.
is the
The
way
if
it
Roe
should have
versus
been to
Wade was
begin with.
repealed, the decision or the question of the legality of abortion would just be kicked back to the states.
Yeah, and that's the way it always should have been.
Right.
Yeah, which it's the stuff that these guys talk about, yeah, like the way that they talk, it's like, wait a second, are you for more state power, or do you want more federal government power? You guys don't seem to be very consistent
Yeah.
on the way that you handle things. So what the hell are you
That's
talking
exactly
about?
right. That's exactly right. Because yeah, like when it's something that they want, they're all for like yes, more federal government, yes, yes. But if it's for things that they don't like, it's like no, no, they should stay out of their business. What business do they have getting involved or like sticking their nose in or whatever? It's just like you can't have it both ways.
The I mean, I hate to give her any sort of praise, but the only one who's actually been consistent, even in her ignoramus statements, is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, because at least like she's honest with what she wants and she sticks to like her. She's not doing a lot of double speak. I mean, she's an ignoramus, but you know, it's like, but
Right?
these other
Yeah. I
guys,
mean, yeah. Credit where credit's due, even though it's completely absurd.
yeah, everything that comes out of her mouth is just complete insanity.
Mm-hmm.
But she stayed consistent at least,
Yeah.
which is more than I can say about these other people.
Yeah, I mean, shocker of shockers that we're actually, giving props to,
That is about the only praise that you'll ever hear me give her.
right?
But yeah, so for me, the real evil about it, other than the left is going to argue, well, no, that's not what it's about. Like it's really meant to be this. We're not just going to kill babies, as often as possible, which actually, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, the thing is, what's truly evil is to me is the celebration. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
they're lighting up, the
Oh yeah,
landmarks in pink.
The World Trade Tower. Yeah, they like lit it up pink in celebration of this horrendous abomination of a law.
Yeah, and to me, I don't think it's a coincidence that it was like right after the March for Life. I
Right.
have
No, this was
there's
a big
no doubt
fuck
in
you
my
to
mind
them.
that was done specifically because of that.
Yeah, this is a big fuck you to them. Just
So I'm disgusted. I think that we're gonna have a lot to answer for
yeah.
when it comes time. Um, you know, I mean, other than continually praying for interceding on the behalf of people caught up in the middle of this, and
Hmm.
that's about all I can do at the moment.
Right. No, it's crazy because yeah, the other day, Stephen Crowder, he had a returning guest, a former
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood worker, and she had she was giving a lot of like behind the scenes of what they don't want you to know at Planned Parenthood. But there was the woman, she was giving recounting a story about like this uh, this one person who was like, I don't know, I think testifying in front of Congress or the Senate, and they were asking her, like, oh, like, don't you want, it's like, don't you want, I thought, abortions were supposed to be, safe, rare, and safe, legal, and rare. But no, but like like the answer that this person gave was like, no, like it doesn't matter. Like even if the like basically if the woman even dies, it doesn't matter because as long as she has access to it, access to abortion. Uh, and I don't know about you, but that was fucking chilling, like to my bones. I
I mean,
mean, did
because
you see it? You saw the video,
yeah,
right?
I watched the whole thing, but I remember her being on Crowder beforehand,
Right, right,
and
right.
I
Yeah,
remember hearing her
yeah,
story.
yeah. She was a
Um,
returning guest. Like she was on his show like way like before he made the
like 3 or 4
move.
years ago.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And yeah, it's just like, but then like that response, like no, it doesn't matter. Like even if she dies, as long as she has the access to it. And I'm just like, yeah, and like the old refrain used to be safe, legal, and rare. Like the rare part, like it shouldn't be like common. And like now you have, like people, you
Shout
have
your
women
abortion.
like with the shout your abortions, and you have like the Michelle Wolf say, if you need an abortion, get one. It's like,
Yeah. Um, yeah. The thing if for for people who are keep I say keep praying. For those of you who are against it, keep praying. I mean that's if there's an ability for you to vote against stuff like this, do it. Um,
yeah. I
share,
mean,
talk about like, go and see stuff like the Gosnell movie, share that stuff,
mm,
listen to the stories of these people who have left Planned Parenthood and talk about the horrors that behind the curtain,
that's right.
share their
What?
stories.
Yeah, that woman that was on Crowder, she was actually she was also there to plug a movie that she I think consulted on about like I think it's called Unplanned, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's all about like the the abortion industry and just like stories from people who used to work um, at Planned Parenthood and at abortion clinics and things like that, and yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if,
Like I said, go out and support that stuff. Go watch that stuff. Share
Mm-hmm.
those stories with people. And as Christians, don't be the crazy guy that's gonna bomb the building, because that doesn't help. But being because the people that are there are people too. Maybe they don't understand. There's probably a good chance that there's people there that don't understand the evil that they're taking part in, and they need prayer, they need love, they need to show, and that pray that their eyes are open to see the horrors that they're involved with, and yeah, like wherever you can, like support, kind of support this stuff and read up about it. And I pray for the day that this is no longer a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's you know we in history, World War One, we lost a huge a generation of people were killed off, essentially. I mean, it was devastating to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And through abortion, we've lost several generations of people who may have been beneficial to us, that their lives mattered and were extinguished. And I it's haunting to think about that.
Right. Absolutely.
We talked, and even like when we were talking with Daniel on a few podcasts ago, he talked about how the Holocaust, where with it was, I think, like a third or 2/3 of the Jewish population was completely wiped out through the
Mm-hmm.
Holocaust. And so there's not really there's really not that many Jews left. And this is kind of the same thing where as bad as the Holocaust was in nearly wiping out an entire people group,
Mm-hmm.
this is we're talking about what, like 50 to like 70 million children have been killed since you know since what would say since Roe versus Wade became a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I think last year or a couple of years ago, the birth rate, especially for black babies in New York City, was 50-50.
that's horrific.
Yeah, a black baby had just as much chance of being aborted as it was being born. As
Yeah, and not
much, 50-50.
yeah.
It was a coin flip for black babies. A
Yeah,
coin flip. Think about that. Really,
that's
really process that for a second. You
that
flip a
sounds
coin, and that was the chance for a black baby to be born.
that sounds like some Two-Face shit. Yeah,
I mean, kind of.
yeah.
But I mean,
The
like if that does not send a chill up your spine, I don't know what will.
that's the other thing too. For people who look at the history of Planned Parenthood, listen to the words of Margaret Sanger and what her goal was in starting this.
Oh yeah,
And if that doesn't, maybe you're, and then go and look and where these places are, where these Planned Parenthoods are located.
yeah. The majority, that like just Google, just open up Google Maps and type in Planned Parenthood and just look at the neighborhood that
Yeah.
that those offices are located. Just yeah. Tell me if you